Drinking this album, listen to the brews. I think it would pair well, if only for you, 'cause it's album brews. It's album brews.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to Album Brews, the milkiest music podcast. I just popped a lactate and I'm ready to talk tunes. My name is Sarah.
Hey guys, I am proud of the person I've been because this is such a good pick for the episode. My name's Zach.
I do not live here, but I have already made myself at home. My name is Mitchell.
Yay!
Aww.
We have a very exciting guest here in the studio that is my living room today. Mitchell from Weekend Red Club is here with us. Mitchell, will you tell the folks a little bit about yourself, a little bit about the band, what y'all are up to?
Yeah, I sing for a band called the Weekend Run Club. We play and write music. It's pretty alternative, pretty indie. We're working on a new album right now that's going to be out. We're playing some shows coming up, and we're just out here booling. We're searching for the meaning of life.
God, aren't we all? And as per usual, Mitchell, you picked our album and drink pairing for today. And there's a whole lot of newness happening here. I don't think Zach and I knew about this musical project prior. I know I didn't.
No? Well,
No.
Weekend Run Club?
No, Watermedown.
Oh, Watermedown. No, yeah.
Yeah. I love when that's new. And the drink was also a hot heaping scoop of newness. We have our first ice cream and protein drink.
But if we wait long enough, it'll be a cereal drink because it'll just be milk and Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah.
It's everything. You could have it in the morning. You could have it for dessert. You could have it at the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could have it at the gym.
Vodka at the gym.
That's how you get those gains, dude.
A little tipsy at Planet Fitness.
That's where I go.
You go to...
That's where I go.
And that's where I went before the pandemic. And then, you know how Planet Fitness is, like, impossible to cancel if you're trying to cancel?
I
it's so
literally
hard.
just experienced that.
Really?
I upgraded my membership for a month because I was dog sitting in the suburbs and I still wanted to go, and I
So you want the
upgraded to
black
the
card.
premium.
Yeah.
And then I like go in to cancel and I'm like, that'll be $55. And I almost went full Karen, but I took a deep breath and I haven't done anything since then because I'm afraid to confront
Have you
big
kept
business.
the premium membership?
I have, and I've been taking a buddy, which is why
That's good.
I've been saying it's worth it because one of my friends has been going with me a lot. Shout out to RJ.
I went for a while before the pandemic, and then I also had the premium card because I like to lie to myself, and my family lives in Wisconsin, so I was like, oh, well, there's one pretty close to my parents' place in Wisconsin, like I could go. I was not gonna do that. When I'm in Wisconsin, I drink and eat cheese curds, and that's the vibe. But I was like, I need to make this worth it, so like almost every time I went to the gym, I would get my ass in that like hydro massage chair at the end, and there would be nobody in that room, and I would like be a little embarrassed, but a little bit like, I'm fucking paying for it. I would go up to the front desk and be like, hey, can you unlock the hydro massage? And then when it came time to cancel, Cameron, our editor, my boyfriend, has also experienced this, he used to call it paying the laziness tax when he was like paying for this gym membership that he wasn't going to use and wanted to cancel anyway. But they require like your firstborn child, your social security number, like your toe prints
That's
and
insane.
fingerprints.
So
and
if you don't have kids, you can never leave.
can never
I know,
leave
I'm
the
still
gym.
giving them $20 a month.
Until you've experienced childbirth, you're stuck.
They were like, you have to go to a notary public and like all this shit. We made it happen, but holy cannoli, I needed a shot after that.
And speaking of shots, that brings us full circle to today's drink,
Yes.
which I think is the first ever album rebrews drink that is also has a vegan option to it. This is especially for my friend Sky. They're the artists behind Water Me Down, and one of the songs on this album is about being vegan, and which I am not. And if you listen to this, Sky, don't hate me too much for that. But this is a milkshake which can be substituted with oat milk and oat ice cream. There are Fruity Pebbles involved, which is a vegan cereal. You can eat it for breakfast. Yes. Many people do. And then there is this Fruity Pebbles protein powder that I have made everybody I know try and I'm obsessed with. I believe that does have like a hint of lactose in it. So if you want the vegan version of that, just don't put any of that protein powder in. But
You're gonna get
otherwise,
less gains.
you're good to go. Oh, and
Yeah.
there's vodka too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
I would
V
say-
is for vegan. The V is for vodka.
The V is for vodka.
Which is vodka's vegan.
Yeah. Yeah. Potatoes aren't animals.
Yeah. Vodka or the least offensive liquor you could think of. I saw a recipe for something similar to this with like a Baileys, which I thought could be good.
Baileys would be good.
Or like a strawberry Baileys or something
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that. But we tried it. It doesn't suck. It's
I would say
pretty nice.
Beyond that, like beyond not sucking, I like it.
Yeah, I think Fruity Pebbles and vodka is a great combo.
I
like even without
agree.
the ice cream, I want to create a Fruity Pebbles.
like in
vodka.
the morning I was thinking in the morning you wake up and you pour your cereal and then you reach for the milk, but it's actually just vodka and it's like the 2022 version of Kesha's TikTok song
Brushing your teeth with a bottle
with a
of
bottle of
Jack.
Jack.
Before I leave, put some vodka in my Fruity Pebbles. It's like an Irish coffee.
Yeah,
But totally not.
like a really American.
All right, well, before we get too far into this album, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about this emo quiz I found online. This is an emo album, correct? Is that how you would consider it? Post-rock, emo?
Yeah, I would have to. I don't know exactly what they would say, but I think Midwest emo.
Midwest emo.
There's some mathy
There's some
rock
mathy.
vibes in there, but emo is what my Spotify search said when I
Yeah.
was alone in my room that fateful day in 2014. So,
Are you fans of other big emo acts?
yeah,
Like it?
I love Pierce the Veil.
Okay.
I loved Sleeping with Sirens back in the day. Those are my mains.
Your mains?
Those are my mains.
Yeah.
I like the classics. Now I'm blanking.
Yes, because like when someone asks you like, "What's your favorite movie?" and you're like,
I've never seen
What's
a
a
movie in my
movie?
life.
Yeah.
"Yeah, I absolutely." Especially on this podcast, people are like, "Oh my gosh, what is your favorite like indie rock artist?" And
Sure.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, everything I listen to is emo. Even if it's not emo genre, it's
Yeah.
like a pop artist, but their most emo song, or like
Mm-hmm.
an indie artist, but from their dark phase. Like,
Yeah.
like everyone might be on an SSRI,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
fun. I saw when I was looking at their Spotify page, and I want to get both of your takes on this. I think
Yes.
we've talked about this a little bit on the podcast before, but they were on a playlist of Midwest emo,
Mhm.
which I'm from the Midwest. I ran in that circle for a while. But it's interesting to see someone. They're originally from Virginia, right? Or are
Yeah.
they currently in Virginia?
I know they're currently in Virginia. I'm not 100% sure, but
Yeah.
I know that they're not originally Midwestern, I believe.
Right. And on that same playlist, I saw the band, I don't know if either of you know Mom Jeans,
Yeah.
but they're California. And I'm like,
Who let them in?
who let them in?
Who did
And
they
it's
pay
like,
to
is-
get into the Midwest emo?
Right. Who has the Midwest emo credentials? Or is it just a vibe?
I did see a tweet one time. I won't say who. I won't dox him, but he was a prominent talent buyer in Chicago. And the tweet was making a comment on how bands from other countries can't do the Midwest emo accent.
Will you do the accent?
Yeah, we do.
I can't. I'm not from the Midwest.
You've been in Chicago for how long?
You can't just put me on the spot like that, Sarah. I'm not proud of the person I've been.
I'm not proud of the person.
We're gonna cut that. That was probably really bad. But it's the same way. Like if I wanted to be in a mariachi band, I couldn't roll my R's, right?
True.
That's true.
Is that construction noise? Sorry.
There's snow plows.
Oh, okay.
It's a core vibe of Midwest emo is the snow experience.
Yes,
Yeah.
the snow.
Oh my God.
Way to bring it back.
If you're from California, this is just why you can't relate. You've never sat in an apartment.
If you've
Sorry
never been
about
sad
it.
and cold, you
Yeah.
can't be Midwest emo. A lot of my emo phase was Taking Back Sunday, which you can hear a lot of in this artist that we're getting ready to talk about. So that made me really happy. As soon as I turned it on, I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all about it. So speaking of emo, let's do this. What percent emo are you quiz?
Oh, I
Well, we
can't
have to
wait.
make sure we're qualified, right, to talk about this?
Yeah.
So we got to get our
The
emo
podcast
percentage.
ends if we don't pass.
If we're a C- or below, we can't
high
talk about Midwest emo.
expectations.
Shit. Okay. And we're going to be doing, I mean, we have 3 brains, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we have at least.
So we can combine our scores.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll because a lot of these are like click if you've been to these stores. So
Oh,
all three.
perfect.
So we should be able to combine.
Oh, cool.
Be a real Midwest emo.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Which of these stores were you a regular at? Hot Topic, Hollister,
Yes.
Journeys, Delia's. I don't know what that is.
Delia's.
One
Delia's.
time I went into Delia's with my older sister and I was like 10 and I was really offended because the person working there came up and she's like, "Can I help you ladies?" And at the time I was so offended. I was like, "I am a boy."
I loved Delia's.
Yeah, they had some
They had so many graphic tees.
Yeah. I was not cool enough for Hollister. I would say limited to I went with my sisters.
I went in
Abercrombie
too.
and Fitch never. I
Never.
couldn't breathe.
No.
I couldn't
I was a
breathe
Hollister
in
girl,
there.
but not an Abercrombie girl. Hard stop.
I'm glad you turned out.
We all went to Hot
That way,
Topic though,
because-
right?
Absolutely.
Hot Topic,
Okay.
Journeys, like
Mm-hmm.
Check off the following fashion staples you've owned / wanted.
Okay, this is like a put a finger down.
I'm really guilty for this first one.
Oh,
A
no.
studded belt.
y'all are gonna have to carry this. I went to Catholic school
Oh,
until I
Oh.
was 18, and I wore a uniform to the point where, like, when I got to college, my dress, like the way I dressed, was just like colors that didn't match because I had never even worn colors before.
You're like, what is clothes?
That's wild.
Well, yep,
What is outfit?
yeah,
All right, band tees. That's probably a
yeah,
yes.
I did. I had those.
An abundance of
100%.
black clothes. Yes.
Yeah, I would say so.
I don't know about this one. Maybe I've had this one. Fishnets.
Yes. I'll put a finger down.
I haven't, but I would like to own some.
I was a
They
fishnet.
seem nice. Skinny jeans, absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Ripped jeans,
Yes.
absolutely. I'd imagine.
I didn't, but y'all carry me through this one.
Converse.
Mm-hmm.
I had the Target knockoffs.
I
Does
never-
that count?
Yeah.
Yes,
counts.
yeah.
Okay.
I never owned these checkered Vans.
Me either.
No, I wish.
Wow, we missed one. Black
Yeah.
combat boots.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Okay. A beanie.
of course.
That feels like a
had
giveaway.
a
Like
beanie.
anyone would wear a beanie.
yeah.
Band patches or pins.
Yes. Both.
Leather jacket.
It was
I
pleather
don't.
and it was tan.
Counts.
But
Leather's
I,
good.
yeah,
We like vegan.
I wore it pretty often.
Which of these animated movies is your favorite?
Oh my god.
Tangled, Corpse Bride, Coraline, Spider-Man, Nightmare Before Christmas, or Moana?
This has to be a trap. I genuinely feel like I know what I should pick, but I'm gonna say Moana.
Well, we talked about this on the podcast, but I like kind of okay. Let me clarify first. I did not want to fuck Jack Skellington. I was not one of those girlies who was gonna go to Hot Topic and buy the Jack Skellington merch because like they had a crush on him. I just had a Nightmare Before Christmas phase where I like
It's a great movie. We
I
had a
watched
podcast
the movie.
episode on it.
We had a whole episode on it. I just watched the movie like twice a week for like a while. I don't know. I'll have to like get my sister to confirm because she witnessed this.
I need to see it. I never.
You've never seen it?
I think I was at that age where like my older sisters weren't into like any of that stuff, and so my parents weren't taking me to those movies anymore, and I didn't have the drive. I just love how like personal and how important it was for you to
was
know,
so-
for us to know that you didn't want to fuck Jack
I
Skellington.
did
Like,
not want to fuck Jack Skellington. I was really into the vibe and the music.
I like that
Obsessed.
vibe. I have friends that really, really like that sort of animated style too. I feel like it's one of those things where you either are creeped out or you just really, really vibe with it.
Yeah.
So 2 out of 3 are Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's fine.
1 from
yeah,
Moana.
that's fine.
We'll go with it.
Okay.
We'll lean with it.
Check off the following things you've done. Written lyrics on your Converse. You guys done that?
Interesting.
I didn't, but I knew people
I
who
knew
did.
people did it, yeah. Stretched or fought with your parents about stretching your ears.
Didn't do that.
Zach, you had
You got earrings in, or they're not
I
stretched?
just. Oh, they're fake. You want to see?
Oh, I thought they were
well,
gauges.
they're real earrings, but they're cheaters.
They're like
I-
clip-ons?
I actually just got my ears pierced like just 3 months ago, and just this week I was able to finally put in like the ones that weren't the ones that they
Yeah.
gave me. So I've
Are
been
you gonna stretch? or
I've
are
been
you just trying it
expressing
out?
myself. I probably won't.
Okay.
Yeah.
I went all the way to
didn't want
00, which isn't supposed to close back, but it
Oh,
did.
that's my roommate
Yeah.
has those. Those
Yeah.
are big.
But did you fight about it, or was that like a?
No, they're pretty cool about it.
Damn.
Yeah.
I guess that's not a check.
Sweat the summer away in all black clothes for aesthetic. I had to read that 3 times before it made sense in my brain.
It's traumatic. I didn't do that. I
did
was a
not do
very sweaty child, and I did whatever I could to avoid it.
Yeah,
I was a colorful emo. I had like bright
Oh.
colored Vans.
I was like right on the cusp of like indie and like emo.
Okay.
Like I would like wear like a Fall Out Boy shirt with like sunflowers on my pants. Like I was that kind of girl.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Went to or really wanted to go to Warped Tour.
I really wanted to
I
go.
really wanted to.
You guys never went?
My mom.
No, I'm poor.
My parents never would have let me go.
Yeah, no, my mom barely let me go to Summerfest,
I'm
and
so-
that was in my
I'm
backyard.
so sorry. That was like some like formative years in my childhood was going to Warped Tour.
I believe it.
I'm like failing this. I'm looking at some of these questions, and I'm just.
And it's like gone now, which makes me feel really old.
Yeah.
They canceled it.
But there's When We Were Young Fest.
Yeah.
Mm.
We might talk about that later.
Logistical nightmare.
Dyed your hair a bright color?
No, I didn't.
I have now, but not when I was younger.
No.
Doesn't count.
Change clothes because your black shirt didn't match your pants.
I feel like that's a very personal attack to like the BuzzFeed writer is like writing the quiz and like the other BuzzFeed person makes this comment and it's like a direct jab
Like
at
looking
that
at their
person.
coworker.
Covered your bedroom walls in a band poster?
No.
I didn't.
I didn't.
Me neither. We're
I
not
actually I didn't even learn about My Chemical Romance until I was like until they broke up, and so I'm what can I say? I'm emo now, but I'm
Yeah.
failing. I feel very
Wow.
guilty
No,
right here.
I feel you. I was like later
Seems
on.
like you caught up nicely though.
I've caught
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. Ironically said RAR.
Oh,
Yeah.
or XD.
That's what I said. Yeah, or XD.
Absolutely.
If you logged on to RuneScape.com back in the day,
Yes.
you would be catching some XD
Yeah.
from my accounts. Yeah.
Spamming, will you be my RuneScape girlfriend in the center
Buying
of town?
GF. Yeah.
Wore black eyeliner?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
You had a username that started with XX somewhere.
Oh, that's funny.
That is
Double
so
X's.
Is that
I
yes for you
didn't.
guys?
I didn't.
I didn't.
No, I did. It was on RuneScape again.
Again.
That counts. That counts.
Check off every song. You know the words by heart.
You can just check them off all.
Shit.
I think the first 6 I do. Welcome to the Black Parade.
Yeah.
I Write Sins. Sure,
Yeah.
We're Going Down.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dear Maria, dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Misery Business.
Yes.
I don't know. Ohio's for
I don't know
Lovers.
that word for word. I know the song, but I don't know word for word.
Hoffman
I don't.
Heights.
Yeah.
Ocean Avenue.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Is that an emo
That was
song?
on the Party City soundtrack.
Is that an emo song?
I worked at Party City in high school, so I know that one by heart
Check yes.
because on the Party Check Yes Juliet,
Yeah.
also on the Party City
I
soundtrack.
love it.
They also, this was fucking weird, but they did Decode by Paramore
Oh.
from like the Twilight soundtrack.
Was it like all really edgy teenagers? It's like, we don't want to work here.
It was like that, but also like Mambo Number 5. Like it was such a
No in
For the
between, no
kids.
chill.
And did I say this already? They were all covers. None of it was like
Oh.
the original like licensed music because I guess Party
Oh.
City didn't want to pay Paramore.
That's rich.
So they like had an in-house like cover band record, and then they sold CDs in the store of all these
Like Kids Bop?
soundtracks.
hmm
That's so
And
funny.
it was alphabetized. So like say today if like Ocean Avenue came on, you would know that like Billie Eilish's Ocean Eyes was next.
Mm.
If you worked there enough.
Yeah, if you knew. All right, I'm just going to fly past these
Yeah.
because I'm sure they're all yes. The middle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Talked about that. Move Along.
Oh.
Yes.
That one slaps. Oh, that's a
Miserable
jam.
at Best.
Miserable at
1985.
Best, yeah.
Bowling for Soup.
Uh-huh.
I Miss You.
Uh-huh.
Man, I'm going to put a playlist of these because I want to
This
hear
is
all of these
good.
and sing them. Cute Without the E, Taking Back Sunday. Slow Down by
Are
The
you-
Academy Is. I don't know if I know that
I've
one.
never heard of that
Oh.
song. I'm sure if I heard it, I might recognize it, but I've never.
And finally, did you rock the emo bands?
Oh my god, I'm looking at
I
these.
had a side bang.
I couldn't even grow hair. I still can't grow hair. Forget it.
Okay, well, I did. I did have this emo haircut. We'll post pictures.
What
Oh,
percentage?
man.
We're like C plus emos.
Is that like a?
We're like a 78.
That's a pass.
Yep. I'll take
C's
it.
get degrees.
I mean, we said C- was like, if we got below C-, we couldn't do this episode.
I think we
But-
can continue.
But I think we continue, but I am
But
let
we're
down
on
by this.
thin ice.
We're on, we kind of really.
Is it because I said I shopped at Hollister? They were like, you fucking poser. Get out of my quiz.
You were pretty emo, but let's be honest. You still are, aren't you?
Called out.
Called out.
I just love BuzzFeed quizzes because they get me
Yeah.
and they know me. It's like,
My favorite ones are the ones where it's like, pick 5 photos of soup and we'll tell you how your mom feels about your career.
yeah.
And it's like,
Or it's like, what's your favorite color? This is the dog breed you would be. It's like, can dogs see color? I don't know.
oh, I don't know about you. I wanted to work for BuzzFeed so bad. I wanted to work in like the golden era of like BuzzFeed quizzes and like the 2013, 2014 Tumblr. That was the dream.
All right, should we get into it?
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Heavy opening track. Holy moly.
Oh,
Yeah, very much weight on it.
The-
Very much
Yeah.
the day this came out, there were no. I didn't realize it was on Bandcamp, and I didn't know if there were. I didn't know if there were lyrics back then. I listened to the album for hours, and like in my journal, wrote down every word. And there was a part of the song that I couldn't tell what they were saying, and I eventually like DM'd them like, "What are you saying at this timestamp?" But this track happened, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna love this album!" Like, I'm a very sad person, and this is gonna cut deep. So
Yeah. This one was wailing. Ouch, 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 ouch. But there was something. Well, I'm about to talk about like the end of the song. So if y'all want to talk about any other content of the song, I have.
I think putting that lyric, my intro lyric, just right at the forefront of the album with that gusto,
yeah,
like for me, I was like, yes. Immediately yes to the album. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna like this. So I think that was a very
Yeah.
good move on his
The
end.
lyric, I'm not proud of the person
And,
I am.
and
Yeah.
the vocal delivery on it is
Just-
chef's kiss.
Yeah.
gutturally screamed like
Yeah.
Yeah.
without not even in like a not even that screaming. It's just like it is just yelled and sung at the same time. And I think that like sets the stage perfectly for people that didn't know Water Me Down. Like I don't know if their first EP was put out with the label that they were on, but at this time this was the first full length they put out with that label. So it was
Okay.
like from that first vocal, it's like this is who Water Me Down is. And this is it's kind of setting the stage for buckle in because like you're gonna get an introspective self-reflection whether you like it or not.
Send this song to your therapist.
Yeah.
Whether you got 78% on the emo test or not.
Yeah. You're about to get 100.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the very end, or are you going to talk about kind of towards the end?
I was going to talk about sort of the way that the song fades from being a song into being an alarm clock.
Yeah, that lasts for
Crazy.
at least 20 seconds.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
jarring. I want to play a little bit because I want
Yeah.
the folks at home to like. It's not an easy song to listen to.
No.
It's like it's powerful,
Yeah.
but it's not easy to listen to, and the end is like stressful, but in a way that is like the first time you hear it, you're like, oh shit, like I'm paying attention.
Mic drop moments for sure.
Yes, very much. What the fuck?
It's amazing. And let it be known too that the lyric repeated over and over and over right before this is please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up for everyone's sake.
Oh.
And I always like to I always do this with lyrics. I wonder what were they thinking? But
Yeah.
it's very obvious what Water Me Down, what Sky, what they're asking us to do is to like open your eyes. And I think that's such a crucial coming of age point for so many young people, especially these days. If you feel in any way marginalized, or if you feel like you find yourself asking really philosophical questions and going to those deep, dark places, it's really unavoidable to come across that point where you just hate everybody.
Yeah.
Like, and you can't even isolate the people that you do like, because everyone just gets swept up into this mass of people, and they're destroying the world, they're destroying your life, they're destroying each other, and you just hate everyone, and you don't know what to do with all of that.
Yeah.
And that feeling of feeling misunderstood, I don't know. I've always felt that way, but no one's ever put it into words or art in a way where I resonated with it. So it's jarring, and it's supposed to be, which upon like in an emotional listen through, it's incredible. And then when I listen to it, like just jam into it on my car ride, I like the alarm clock goes off and I'm like, maybe I'll skip it. But I just love it. It makes such a statement.
Yeah. Well, this resonated with me too. Like, so I'm a pretty anxious person, and I've gone through seasons of life where like the alarm goes off and immediately like I don't remember what I was dreaming about. I don't remember what was up here beforehand, but I'm having this like fight or flight response for no fucking reason. So this song, like, if we were like painting a like day in the life narrative, which I sometimes do when I'm listening to music, I think about like all the commotion and all these like deep dark thoughts that this person is having like unconsciously, and then like all this shit's going down. It's so tumultuous, and then they have to like wake up and do a day.
Yeah.
And that's exhausting.
I've never thought about it like that. And that's so special. It's like you're at mercy to the alarm.
Yeah.
Almost to like as if the world doesn't give a shit if you're ready to continue or if you're ready to wake up. You're kind of just ripped from your state of mind.
Yeah.
Thrown
from
into
your
the world.
rumination.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's cool. That's powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. It was cool. It really resonated with me. And then like a lot of the rest of the stuff on this album feels very autobiographical. So I don't know. That was sort of my take.
I really like how the alarm clock comes in while the guitar is still playing. And to me, that kind of like adds to like, is this last section of the song a dream? And you know how when you're dreaming, you can hear the alarm clock sometimes?
Yeah.
So I thought that was a really cool musical choice.
Are either of you familiar with the band Saint Motel?
I've heard the name, but not familiar.
They have a song called Daydream, Wet Dream, Nightmare. And it rules. It's like 6 or 7 minutes or something. And it's sort of like this 3-act song, I guess. And you can kind of hear it starts with like this beautiful daydream, and the lyrics are pretty flowy and fun and nice. And then it goes into a wet dream, and it's very sexy, but it's seamless. It's seamless. And then it goes into a nightmare, and it's kind of like this, like the end of this song. Like it's very jarring. And at one point in the song, they also say like, don't wake up, wake up, wake up. Like it's kind of a similar calling card. So it made me think of that. I love songs that are dream states. I think it's so funky.
It never even occurred to me that this song had like it felt like obviously I got it.
Yeah.
As like you're just begging people to wake up. But this idea that like sometimes when you're going through it and like you just want to die in your head. Yeah. You ever have those moments where like you're going through it, you cry, whatever, you have your crazy meltdown. Yeah. And then all of a sudden you're just like, all right, I'm done now. Yes. Like it's like as if there should be this fantastic like ending to it or some resolution. It's like, no, I'm just not crying anymore and I'm not shaking anymore and I'm just like
now I have to go buy toilet paper.
Or yeah, I'm gonna go have a snack or like I'm gonna go do whatever. Like I don't know. It's I like that observing that state of subconscious that is very ephemeral and constantly just fleeting.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of deep, dark feelings on this album.
Yeah.
Locks and Blinds.
Yes. This was the single.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, this was the single. Had a really cool music video, and they are breaking shit with a hammer. It's like this house, and there's all these things, and they're like just destroying everything. And it's cool because the song is kind of about, I'm assuming, like the apartment that they were living in at the time. Or, I don't know. We'll get into that, I guess, whenever. Yeah, this is very, 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 very catchy song off of the album.
This is also the song that contains the title of the album, Same View with a New Light.
Oh.
Yeah.
I love the through composition on it. Like there's no verse, chorus, really. It's like this whole big one poem.
Yeah.
Which is, as someone that writes music, that's not easy to do. And I think especially the pressure to put out a product that's commercial really hits a lot of songwriters hard, to the point where we don't always feel like we can do something through compose, or it doesn't even cross our mind, because we're like, all right, like let's find a formula that's unique enough to be original, but at the same time keep the integrity of putting out a product. And I actually never even thought of that, because there are some bands that do that I love. I'm like, oh wow, it's really, it just kind of goes different places, and this one does that too.
It reminds me, and I meant to pull up a clip, maybe we'll put it in after. Have you seen the TikTok trend of people singing to their suggested text?
No.
No. Wait, yes.
There'll be like a guy with a guitar and someone holding the phone, and they'll just sing the words.
I love
Usually in an emo, Midwest emo style. And
That's awesome.
And it just keeps
very
going.
good. But yeah, and there's just so much more risk maybe to write like this. Back to your point of like, there's no hook, there's no verse chorus. It's just this whole story.
But if you have the poetry to back it up, you're golden.
Yeah. Right? Like in this one, absolutely.
Yeah, they always do. Everything I've ever written has been inspired by like I this is the band I found that made me decide I wanted to write music. So it's always been at the core part of like my soul when I'm writing
That's huge.
poems or lyrics. Is like,
how did you find them?
Spotify Discover.
It'll do it to you.
I was in college studying opera before I
Whoa.
dropped out
That's
of
really
college.
cool.
And here's this song that it was from, called Bragging Rights. It's from their EP, and it was on my Spotify, and I was like, whoa, this is deep. I want people to listen to me being deep someday.
Someday. That's so cool. I love it. I love that you picked it.
It seems like there's a lot of themes of, and I don't know the deets, I don't know the drama, but there's a lot of like loss on this album, like interpersonal loss,
grief, and I think
change.
too, I know that they've written about like themes about like figuring out who am I, and to me it reminds me a lot about therapy and very specific types of therapy that I've had that are about idealization of other people, the reasons why we hate ourselves sometimes, and all of these themes that I just like, it's almost like they were standing in my therapy sessions at times. So I think you're definitely right with that. There's a lot of loss, longing for like a sense of purpose, especially in this song, conceptualizing all the different people who have lived in my house.
Yeah.
And what were their lives like, and how did they see the world, and did they struggle like I do? Did they go through these chapters of life like I am? It's exactly what you're saying.
I think about that all the time. I live in like, I mean, you can say I live like in an old ass apartment building, and there are like there's like a painted over doorbell in my kitchen and like all this weird shit. So sometimes I'll be at home alone and I'll be like, who was here? Like, who was here before me? I'm curious all the time.
Yeah.
What were they up to? What were they doing? I'll like sometimes look at like the Google Maps and like see what they had. This is so creepy, but I'll see like what they had in the kitchen window or like on the back deck.
I'm the same way. I actually have a song coming about this, inspired by a walk I took like high out of my mind during COVID. And I was walking to my parents' neighborhood. Like I grew up here, and I'm like, people live in these houses.
Yes.
Like, what are their lives like? I've lived here my whole life, and like, so have they.
Yeah.
But I have no idea what their inside of their house looks like. I have no idea like what kind of things they think.
Yeah.
Are they happy? Are they like crazy? Are they fun?
What are they up to?
Yes.
I'm so curious.
What
all
does
the
their
time.
living room look like?
Right?
And what kind of like
I have an answer for you.
What?
They are all NPCs.
NPCs?
They go in, they walk in, and they shut off immediately.
Yeah.
And their house is empty and white unless you go in there, and then
Right.
it populates with stuff, obviously.
Because
Okay.
we're the main characters.
Because we're the main
Yep.
characters.
Yes,
Yep.
of course.
I love that. I love that so much.
So my neighbors upstairs, who I think have a margarita habit right now, which is fine. I've been that girl.
Yeah.
But like almost every night around like 7 or 8, I hear a blender. They're NPCs.
Maybe they're making, what do we call our milkshake drink?
Oh, we didn't name it yet.
We like had a couple
we,
names.
No,
going
we
around.
named it. Should we wait till the song to reveal it? Because it's named after a special song.
Yes.
Okay, well,
Let's
this
do that.
album.
Let's
but
do
maybe
that.
they're making one of these special drinks.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not
That
making
would be
margaritas.
insane. Getting GAINZ upstairs. They gotta walk upstairs. They better be strong.
Speaking of blenders, you guys want to talk about blend?
Oh my god. I mean, more loss. I trashed those postcards I meant to send to you.
Yeah.
This is a really good 3 in a row on an album. You know,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes albums just have like 3 great tracks in a row.
Yeah.
This is a really good trifecta.
Do you ever perceive the way that people act as something that is kind of cool or brave because it's so different than you?
Yeah.
Like I did this a lot when I read The Hunger Games. Like I'm like, wow, Katniss lives her life so crazy different than I would, and
Yeah.
I respect that, and it kind of makes me feel weak. I feel that I don't have the courage to trash a postcard that I want to send to someone. I'm the kind of person that
Yeah.
if I want something, I can't help but express my affection for somebody or my love or my caring about someone. And I think it's like I romanticize the action of being like, fuck this, fuck you, like whatever the reason that Sky did not send those postcards. I wish I could be like that. I wish I had the courage to not send that and let go. That's the line that's always stuck out to that from this song to me personally.
Yeah. It's a big snip, cutting the cord, cutting the
That
freaking
line
cord.
also stuck out to me because like a postcard or like a note, right, is a really kind of an intimate thing to give to a human being, right?
Yeah.
To like write your thoughts and give it to them. So to trash it is really huge.
Yeah.
You're totally
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
There's another really cool part right here where they say, swore you're the reason we don't talk anymore. There's this really interesting thing that they do. And I find myself doing this as well because of who I am. And if I'm publicly writing a song, if I'm writing a song that's going to be public, if I feel like I fucking hate somebody's guts and I think everything they've done and everything I'm experiencing is their fault, I won't say it. I'll be like, we were both just really trying to find ourselves and something went wrong. And I like the way that they talk about their emotions. Like, I swore this is what I felt.
Yes.
And they're not saying, fuck you, you fucked all this up. They're like, in that moment, I swore that this was you're the reason we don't talk anymore and this is all on you. And that suggests like hindsight and reflection and growth into like back then, like I didn't really understand this the way I do now.
Yeah.
And I think that's really special. Not that there's anything wrong with that core emotion of being like, screw you, I hate your guts. Because I also romanticize people that can do that. And like, I think there's maybe in some of the new stuff we have coming out. I've been working on present tense.
A bit of anger.
We got some breakup material. We got some
shit.
heartbreak. I'm going to trash some postcards. Thank
That
you for...
reminds me-
Some Valentine's Day cards, right?
Well, the last album we talked about was Olivia Rodrigo's Sour. And this, I think, kind of the swore you were the reason, I think reminds me a lot of that verbiage. And my therapy sessions. Now we're in my therapy sessions. But like, I'm definitely someone who will like benefit of the doubt the shit out of a situation. Like, if something happens, I'm like, well, they probably had something going on, and they probably this, and this, and this, and this, and I probably this, and maybe I didn't this. And then I'll go to therapy about it, and I'll explain the situation, and my therapist will be like, that's really fucked up what they did to you. And then I'll be like, yeah, it was.
It's like a murderous rage. Like, rage. It's like, yeah.
And then kind of getting into this, like, being like, it was your fault. I swear it was. Like, yeah, I get it, man. Sky, you beautiful bastard. I get it.
Really getting all our feels just right.
Yeah.
How did they know that we were going to have all these feelings when they wrote it, right?
Serviana Grande.
That really redefined how I how I feel about
my
this.
God.
This was my
Let's go.
favorite track for such a long time. I mean,
Oh.
for everyone's sake is the clear winner, obviously, but that intro lick, that riff in the beginning
Shall
of
we play?
Redefine. Yes, please.
Let's play. That
So
is some
mathy.
mathy shit.
It's so mathy.
Just that little harmonic at the end, like the doo-doo.
I love when guitar gets tappity tap.
Yeah.
Tap, 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 tap.
When Mitchell first sent us this band, I looked on the Spotify related artists and I saw Tiny Moving Parts was a
Ooh,
similar artist.
Yep.
And I was like, all right, this is going to be good.
Yeah.
And so
That's-
when I heard
yep.
this, it immediately made me think of the song Always Focused by Tiny Moving Parts.
Yeah, yeah.
Will you play that lick?
Mm-hmm.
Which is a
so
great
cozy.
tune. It's so
It's
cozy.
warm. Unlike the Midwest. How can something so
Unlike
We're
the Midwest.
overcompensating.
you're overcompensating? You have to move your fingers fast, otherwise they'll freeze off.
Frostbite.
That's why it exists. Yeah.
I would love to hear more of this math sound.
I listened to some of the newer.
The new stuff is
release.
different.
The new stuff is different.
It actually just came out like a month ago.
It's a little
Oh,
more
okay.
like bedroom.
Yeah, so they're really cool in the way that they record things.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have this very high fidelity LP
Uh-huh.
with, I'm sure there was some production, definitely some production, a lot of maybe some like extra support sent in to work on production.
Mm-hmm.
If you go into their Bandcamp or things that they release, a lot of it is recorded on what sounds just like a bedroom recorder.
Yeah.
Like it's quote, air quotes, lesser quality, someone would say, than like your voice memo recorder on your phone. But it's done that way on purpose, and it's got this integrity to it that sounds very DIY. They put out a 2-track EP a while ago that almost just sounded like it was recorded on a tape recorder. So I don't know how they're doing it, but they do a lot with live sound, and they have this really cool, I don't know how old it is. I don't know a lot about synths, but it looks old, and I've seen the picture of it. And that's where those like beats come from. So they've been a band, they've done live like full band performances, but when I saw them on tour, it was just Sky. And I know a lot of the performances, if you look them up on YouTube, is just Sky. So the original project, they wrote and recorded everything, I believe. And they mixed and they had this journey, like, I want to try and mix and master everything. And if you actually go onto their Bandcamp, you'll find their early stuff that's just there for free and you can listen to it. And it's really awesome. And I'm actually glad I brought that up because one of the old songs called Nothing Left has a lyric in it that is used in Redefined. And
That's perfect timing.
only a true fan like myself would know this.
We'll find it, that Easter egg.
Only a true fan.
You know how there's like a name for fan, like Lady Gaga has like the little monsters,
monsters.
and like Taylor Swift has the Swifties. Is there like a fan base name for WATERMEDOWN? The Droplets,
The Droplet.
That'd be pretty good.
I like that. We should.
the Downers.
The
No,
Downers.
We're all droplets here.
Which lyric is the one that
Yeah.
is in both songs?
It's so in Nothing Left, it's the lyric at, I have the timestamp. 1 minute and 36 seconds. They say, could you see yourself with me? I'd be lying if I said I didn't wish that we could be friends again or anything at all. And it continues, when there's no one's call to take but mine, I'll be there on the other line. Kind of just like, if I have to be your backup plan, I'll do it vibe. That's what I always got. But in the same song, we have that, could you see yourself with me? I'd be lying if I said I never fucked up anything. Are we friends again or anything at all? And it's interesting because I'm sure the meaning has changed. Sometimes artists will just take a lyric they liked and it has nothing to do with the actual song and they'll recycle it. But if we theorycraft for a minute here, that's a very different change in mood.
Yeah.
Going from this presenting yourself as a little bit helpless and just like in the feels and like, fuck it, man. Like I'll just wait.
Yeah.
And I'll let
Literally
myself
waiting by the
hurt.
phone.
And that kind of evolves into like, I understand who I am. I understand my faults, but I also hope we can be friends at least. Like instead of dismissing everything, I hope there's something salvageable here, which I think this is my interpretation. I don't know what they thought.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was really, really cool.
It is.
Yeah, that is
like,
really cool.
we're not sure if it's the same sitch, but it would be a really interesting evolution if it was. Yeah. And it's our podcast, so we can kind of say whatever we want.
Yeah.
And we're the only people who know about that, probably, right?
Well, us and like the 30 people who are going to cut
We're gonna listen.
30,000.
Yeah. I'm so excited to talk about the next song.
Yeah.
So excited, in fact, that I need to pee.
Do it.
Can we take a quick pee break?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so I know you've all been waiting for the announcement, the revealing of the beverage pairing for this episode. It's called No Dead Things. So this next song is called Dead Things. It's about dead things, but there are no dead things in this drink. The drink, like I said before, is not inherently vegan, but it so easily can be made vegan. This song is about, I guess, Sky's interpretation and feelings around becoming vegan and why they wanted to become vegan in the first place. It's actually the first song that ever really made me think about it. I didn't have anyone in my life that was vegan, and actually my best friend now is vegan.
Work.
And more it's becoming like, well, this is probably inevitable. But yeah,
Food of the future,
take it away.
they say.
Yeah, what did y'all think about this song?
I am so excited. Okay, so I'm vegetarian. I've been vegetarian for a while. And also lactose intolerant. So I'm damn near vegan. I eat pretty plant-based, but I'll pop a Lactaid for some Dominoes. I popped a Lactaid for today's drink. But I forgot that Sky was vegan for a second, and I was listening to this song. I was like on the train on my way to work, and the opening lyrics about like preparing the pig's intestines for consumption. I was like,
Yeah.
and then I was like, wait a second. This is a song that's supposed to be talking about how eating dead things is kind of weird.
Yeah.
I was like, because that's kind of how I feel it. I wouldn't go so far as to like my personal stance on it. I'm vegetarian for a myriad of reasons. Number one, I'm afraid of cooking meat. I don't want to give myself salmonella.
It sucks. I have gloves for it if I ever do it because I'm grossed out by it too.
I get so nervous about it. Also, like the climate portion of it was a big factor for me. There's a lot of heart disease in my family. So I was like,
bad meat, yeah.
anything I can do for that. I personally, this is no shade. I don't go so far as to say like that animals are not consenting to be food. I still don't want to eat them. It's still, in my mind, a body. But also, like, no tea, no shade, no pink lemonade. Like, my boyfriend eats meat, so
I totally know what you mean, because even though I still do eat meat, one of the reasons I love this song is because Sky expresses their views, and then it's like, the kicker of it for me is this thought behind, like, when did we start deciding to eat meat? And when did we start normalizing the way in which we are destroying the environment? When did we normalize the way in which we accepted certain animals are allowed to be treated X amount of weight? Because I know there is what would be considered an incredible amount of animal cruelty in the food industry. And so it doesn't matter how you view it. It doesn't matter if you eat meat for religious reasons or whatever reason you justify. Maybe you just like it or you think it's natural. Whatever the reason is, I like that they're asking us or they're saying, maybe just think about it. That part about there's an advertisement on the television subliminally altering.
There's advertising on the television, subliminally altering, self-consciously affecting.
Yes, the thoughts you think in the place where you feel safe. Like, that's so beautiful. Like, you're in your living room, you feel safe, and there's a Wendy's commercial, right?
And you're like, burger.
And I like how culturally we are programmed to accept so many things.
Yeah.
And this is a conversation, I think, for the way it resonates for me, maybe because I'm not vegan right now, it resonates in a way where it's like, that's a really good point. Like, we have just walked into this world, we were birthed in, and we've just kind of accepted the world as it is because it's constantly being shoved down our throats, especially because we live in a capitalist and consumerist nation, right? So that's like a powerhouse for me.
That is a good fucking point, because being the only, well, my sister's vegetarian now. Being the only vegetarian at like a rural Wisconsin Thanksgiving is
probably hard.
tough, man. Because again, from like this very cultural standpoint, the relatives like to poke fun and go like, well, but have you ever had bacon on a burger? And it's like, yeah, I've had bacon on a burger. I get it. It's bacon on a burger. But it's not like...
Like, you're not arguing that it tastes bad.
Right,
You're
not at
arguing,
all. Not at all. I'm just saying, like, it's not necessary. I feel like there's a lot of this argument that, like... And maybe for some people it is. I'm, again, not like gonna yuck your yum. Yum. But I think there's this very fervent meat eaters, I think, will make it seem like a necessity. And
And I don't think we've given it much thought. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, you don't do this. I can't imagine life without it. But the more you think about it, the more my friends who do become vegan, the more I start to feel like, you know, I got a lot of shit going on in my life, and I think someday I will feel some sort of responsibility to start being more conscious of this. I already have a little bit. I mean, I eat much less red meats. It's like, oh my God, I deserve an award.
Yes!
No, I'm not saying that, but like
We've got oat milk in the fridge.
Right.
Huge.
Things like this actually do make me think about these things. And I think the idea of being able to think for yourself is really valuable. And the more we do that as like a species, I think we're likely to be more likely to not go extinct very soon.
Yeah.
So I just, shout outs, Sky. Because I know it's not an easy thing to talk about. You know, people that are vegan are constantly made fun of and stepped on for the way that because they feel passionate about it, which they should. Like,
yeah.
So people are constantly stepped on and made fun of. And I think that it's hard to write a song about something that people will likely dismiss in a way that makes it approachable. So that's why I really, really like this song.
I thought it was a really cool way to sort of make that argument. I think it was packaged up very nicely, the core message.
Yeah, I think a general distrust for cultural norms is healthy. So,
Oh, yeah.
So to just be like, do you believe everything you see on TV? Like, also, it's a really nice sonic mix-up from the rest of the album, too, when we get to this point. It's like a nice little break. Nice little... It's like when you're swimming and like you like lay over on your back and just kind of vibe for a second.
Yeah, it's like the lazy river.
Yeah,
but with ethical questions.
Ethical lazy
river.
Palate cleanser.
Yeah,
exactly.
The vegan sorbet in between meals. I love it.
The 3-ingredient bread.
Yeah.
Palate cleanser.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's like the lyric.
Yeah.
You did that on purpose.
I think we're halfway there.
Whoa.
Do you guys want to do another quiz? But this time it's for it matters. Not that
it matters.
That first one didn't matter. This one you guys have points, so I'm gonna keep track.
Oh,
Zach's bringing a bit.
We talked a little bit about early YouTube off the air. Were you guys ever on the early YouTube for the Emo Elmo?
Yo, tickle me emo. First of all, incredibly distasteful, but second of all, also very funny.
I didn't know that existed.
They were probably offensive to kids going through emo stuff, but
they were
pretty funny.
very insensitive.
Believe it.
Yeah.
But
Sounds like early YouTube.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was minus the insensitive stuff. That was my inspiration for this game that I'm calling Emo versus Elmo.
Nice.
And so I pulled up some iconic Elmo quotes and some iconic stuff.
What an icon. I aspire to be just like Elmo someday.
When I think of Elmo, the first word I think of, icon.
Then I've also,
Yas.
Yes,
Yeah.
Elmo.
Elmo is.
We stand.
Oh, and then I've also pulled up this MTV article of 37 emo song lyrics you doodled on your Chuck
This
Taylors.
is fun.
So I'm gonna let you guys guess if it is emo or Elmo.
Okay, perfect.
And it's gonna start off pretty easy, but then it'll
Cool.
get some tricky ones. I know you well enough to know you never loved me.
I don't know,
Oh,
man.
and then you get another point if you can name the band or the song.
Oh,
I think that one's a band. I feel like emo keeps it a little light.
yeah.
Like Elmo doesn't.
Elmo wouldn't say you never loved me.
Elmo would be like, I love you.
Yes.
Yeah, let's just go with band. I don't know
Definitely
who.
a band. Should we just guess?
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess Mayday Parade.
I was gonna guess that.
Or like that could be a My Chem.
It is one of my favorite emo bands.
Take Back Sunday.
Yeah, it is.
Do we get a bonus point?
Yeah, you guys get a bonus for that.
Yes!
I used to love this song. This is cute without the E.
Oh wow, that is free. We're going to like the used like era.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
is it? Era or era?
I say era, but I'm from Wisconsin. Do not take my pronunciation as Bible.
I mean, we're in Chicago. Illinois and Wisconsin are like pretty similar.
You know what though? Quick aside, when I moved down here for college, I got flamed, absolutely roasted because I used to, and I got bullied out of pronouncing it this way, but I used to say like bag.
Oh no, that's a Minnesota thing.
It's also a Wisconsin
Because
thing.
my
Yeah.
family, bag, you want to go play tag? Oh,
Yeah.
Aunt Lynn, if you ever listen to this, bless your beautiful soul, because I just love the way you say.
It's
Words.
charming. It's charming. But I remember one time we were watching Hulu and a Viagra commercial came on, and I was
Viagra.
like, "Why is there Viagra on the TV?" And they were like, "You did not. What did you just say?" And then they were like, "Can you say this word? Can you say this word?" And I was like, "Guys." Anywho.
We can live like Jack and Sally if we want.
Oh, well, that's a lyric.
It's I miss you. No. Darkness in the valley, we can live like Jack and Sally if we want.
That is my miss you.
Don't waste your time on me.
You're
already the voice.
Inside my yard.
Yeah, why did you say it like that?
That's how it sounds.
2 points.
Yeah. I Miss You by Blink-182.
All right, here's the next one. This is a toughie. Na 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 Elmo's World.
It could be Na 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 by My Chemical Romance.
So right.
But I'm gonna say Elmo.
I think. Listen.
Or wait, it could be like Jamie's Elsewhere or something like that. Or like Skylit Drive, maybe.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it could be Elmo.
It is Elmo.
Nice.
I would
Hell
not
yeah.
have made that without you. Thank you.
You're so well. That's why we're a team.
Yeah, I was ready for this to be like really competitive. I was like, I would throw down. Prove I am an emo person after all.
There's a story at the bottom of this bottle.
And I'm the pen. Dear Maria, count me in.
Classic.
That's 2 points.
This is like in group therapy. All the kids were like, we had one day where they were like, what's your favorite band? And everyone was like, all time low, all time low, all time low. And I said like Christina Perry. But I went home and I Googled all time low and I became a fan. My life is an embarrassment.
I love it.
All
I
Time
love
Low.
it.
If you keep practicing, you can do anything.
Keep practicing. You can do anything.
Could either be about some really dark shit or it could be like just a nice
Just a general
Elmo.
motivating message.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a trap.
This one feels like a trap. I feel like it's Elmo.
Yeah, I'll go with it. I don't have the capacity.
Yeah, I
to...
tried to pick a pretty ambiguous one. That was Elmo.
That
Okay.
was
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, here's a hard one. Me love me Blinky. Me sad. Me Blinky go away.
That sounds like Pete Wentz.
But you know, because it's deep, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's really poetic.
Me Blanky still smells like your perfume.
Also, like, I didn't know Elmo, like, was that broken with his,
Yeah.
like, grammar.
I guess he's probably gone through different stages, right?
This is like
That's
baby
true.
Elmo.
But I've also like, have you seen like the TikToks about Elmo when he went on the Tonight Show and he was like talking about ingredients and he was like balsamic vinegar.
Balsamic vinegar.
And he was like,
Like,
that's
really
a big word for Elmo.
He's like really flirty.
Yeah, he like had this like Brooklyn like kind of dialect.
Who decided he was gonna say those two words?
He was like listing off these ingredients. They were like cooking together. So we've seen Elmo be very eloquent.
Yeah.
But also me love me blankie.
I mean, it's just the truth. He just has no other way to say it.
Right. It's coming right from the
Oh,
heart.
I'll go with Elmo. I just have
It
to.
has to be.
Yeah, it's Elmo.
Okay, cool.
Every drawing that I drew was never, ever as cute as you.
Aww.
It's not Elmo, but
No.
I don't know who it is.
It's definitely a lyric. I don't think I know who it is either.
I was kind of hoping that would go trip you guys up. This is a very RAR XD band, in my opinion.
Asking
Yeah.
Alexandria.
Yo, I love Alexandria. This is Hello Goodbye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right, you guys want one more?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Some days I think I look kind of cute, but other days I try to avoid the mirror.
Who was that?
Well, Elmo is very cute. Does Elmo have body dysmorphia?
Elmo does not have self-perception or awareness, I don't think.
Elmo doesn't have working eyes. He cannot look in the mirror.
Elmo doesn't have object permanence
He
yet.
has like a very vampire-esque quality where even if he could see in the mirror, he just doesn't. He doesn't show up.
I don't know. It sounds like a lyric to me, but I have no idea who it's
We say
from.
like the Ready Set or something.
Yeah.
It's not, but I want to say them. Who is it?
That's Elmo.
Is it really?
You're fucking kidding. Elmo
According to kidadl.com.
AlternativeElmoQuotes.com.
This is an Elmo quote.
That's cute. All right. Well, I'm
Aw.
glad we got tripped up by Elmo at least once because
Yeah.
You guys get pretty good at that.
sad to hear that Elmo's self-esteem is wavering.
I know.
But now I
Aw.
want to get really good at the Elmo impersonation and just sing a bunch of those emo songs.
That would be really good.
Or like an emo cover of like Me Blanky. That's just it's all like Heavy Fry screaming like
No, 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 no.
Elmo's world.
That's fantastic. Thank you guys for playing emo versus Elmo.
Did we win?
Yeah.
How do we score?
I was keeping track, but I stopped after like 3.
oh
Okay,
nice.
for sure. So we got at least 3.
Yeah, at least 3.
I'll take it.
Mhm.
You guys won bragging rights.
No
The song
brag.
by Water Me Down. Check it out.
Eh. Seamless.
I should be their like PR agent.
No, literally.
They're like, they may never talk to me again after this. They're like, wow, Mitchell has listened to my music a little too much.
It is kind of nerve-wracking to be like, what if the person who wrote this album does listen to our episode? I
Yeah.
don't think it's happened yet, but maybe it'll happen.
They said they
It's-
would. I told them I was going to be on, so.
Haley Blay listened.
Did she really?
Yeah.
Oh, it makes me nervous.
Haley Blay listened. She said she had fun.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, and who was the other guy who did the video game music he listened to?
Sean Wasabi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always like one of those things where like you kind of like fart into the void and then someone smells it.
That's a great metaphor for our podcast.
That is
Not
just
heard
like
a more apt metaphor.
poetry. Like the black hole somewhere just opens up.
Let's talk about Searchbox.
Yeah.
I was trying to like think about what the other tracks. This is one that it doesn't feel out of place, but it is
Yeah.
the most out of place on the album.
Yeah. I get what you mean. It still like ties in a lot of like the same sort of thematic elements we've been cycling through, like a little bit of self-sabotage, a little bit of veganism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ordered corporate pie without cheese. Domino's. Can I tell you?
That's what They're talking about pizza.
Yeah, corporate pie.
Oh, I
Like,
hate
from a
when
major
people call
pizza
pizza
chain.
pie, but
Yeah.
I'm so glad I never understood that. I was like, I don't get pie.
Maybe this is a uniquely like dietary restrictions perspective, but like I ordered Taco Bell one time and I clicked on the menu item called black bean quesarito. Guess what was filled with beef?
The black bean
Quesarito.
quesarito.
My quesarito. So I'm out dinner.
Like
So-
picking all the pieces up, like one
Literally.
grain of
There weren't even
beef
any
at a time.
beans. I was just gonna have a cheese tortilla,
Oh no.
which like don't get me wrong, but
I love that. I love that I'm learning things about this album that I didn't know. But you're right, because we got that. You ever like set a boundary, or not a boundary, you set a goal for yourself to do the bare minimum and you achieve it and you're like, wow, I deserve a gold fucking star right now. And you want to like tell people like, look what I did.
I
And
did
it's
the
like,
dishes. Like
that's what this, like, that's, I want to say good job, Sky, for not searching that person's name in the search box. Because that's fucking hard. When
it's
you,
the tiniest thing, but it's a rabbit hole.
and it's so easy to hate yourself to like, wow, I did the bare fucking minimum today.
Yeah.
Like,
Also-
proud of myself.
A very like unique millennial Gen X thing.
Oh,
right?
you're right. Yeah, I
'Cause,
think that is a
like,
very millennial.
Because I don't think a lot of older generations had like the option to search their ex in the search bar,
Well,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a fun sort of like juxtaposition. Like we're talking about postcards a couple songs ago,
Uh-huh.
and now we're like kind of revamping this, like
Mhm.
avoiding this person or like not doing something with whatever person, like, but in a technology way.
And there's also no real timestamp on this. Like, I don't know how old this relationship is.
Yeah,
No.
you're right.
Because, like, you could go look up your ex at any moment in time. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to after this episode, after thinking about it.
No, don't do
You
it.
could even like, it could even be about like a friendship that like didn't work out. And
I've been that girl.
and
Mhm.
I have too. I've had some friendships that just ended really poorly, and
Mhm.
you still care about their life, and you're looking up, and of course social media makes it look like they're happy without you, and you
Yes.
just assume,
Yeah.
wow, I was such a burden to this person, and that's a lie. But
But then the thing I think about is, I wonder if they taped my name into the search box.
yeah,
Because I think that, like, and maybe they didn't, and that's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. But, like, I think there's sort of this, like, self-deprecation that comes with doing that. Like,
yeah,
checking up on someone who you maybe, like, had beef with or things ended with, and you, like, have that compulsion to, like, go scroll through their entire Instagram profile.
guilty.
Yeah. And you're like, God, like, I'm pathetic. I'm the worst. Like, they've clearly moved on because of XYZ photo.
Because they posted a picture with their dog that says "Live, Laugh, Love," and like, wow, they're really doing great without me.
They're living and laughing and loving.
I don't have any of those.
But hey, phone works both ways.
It does. Search box.
Search box.
Our names have been typed into the search box,
Yeah.
and we'll never know, which is a clusterfuck in itself. Because honestly,
Yeah.
like, all I want in life is to be perceived by people as like something good.
Yeah.
Like, even right now, like, everything I do here is to like give a good impression to anyone
Yeah.
listening, but also to you guys. It's like, I just met you, and it's like, that's all I want. And to
Yeah.
never get the closure that someone actually cares and does care enough to look up my name
Yeah.
is like,
It's a mind fuck. It's a mind fuck.
it's crazy.
It's a good thing they're all NPCs anyways.
Yep.
True.
So,
Zach, that's free therapy right there. That is.
You're welcome. Thank you for tuning in to Album of Brews.
And what do we say when we don't understand people? They're just
They're
NPCs.
just an NPC.
That's not healthy. I'm sorry. People are real people.
Zach, you've like, what if we're simulationed so many times on this podcast?
Oh, yeah. Just an interesting concept.
One of these
Yeah.
days, we'll find out we are, and then you'll be like, called it.
I fucking don't.
If we, and I mean, if I was creating my simulation, like this is the podcast, I would create my simulation. So this is that's good evidence for it, right?
Yeah, I like that.
Did you guys have anything to say about Stagnant?
It's just very beautifully, poetically written.
Yeah.
We got some incredible nature imagery. It's about paralysis, is my interpretation. And I actually can understand this feeling as someone that has gone through a lot of personal struggles and felt like I've made no progress. Especially when you are making progress,
Yeah.
but you feel like you're not. And it's hard to watch the world change around you when your own perception of yourself in your like brain prison is that you're the only thing not moving.
Yeah. You're just stuck in your own shit.
Yeah.
Even though your shit is moving and grooving.
I think the latter half of this is what sticks out. That part where they say, I promise I'm different now, believe it or not. And what is it? I'm right here without you now. I'm still gone. At the end, that's big.
Yeah.
You ever like, it doesn't even have to be your fault. Someone could just perceive something that happened between you two as unideal. And it doesn't matter who's in the wrong. But like, have you ever cared about someone or something so much to be like, I promise I'm different now? Like, that's a big thing to say.
That's huge.
Yeah. You got the classic self-deprecating themes about how like I feel like a burden. I feel like every artist has something true to each song or to their vibe, and they feel like Water Me Down, there's so much of that second guessing yourself.
I liked the anxiety call out in this song too.
The towering anxiety. I was gonna,
The sort of painting a picture of not only this towering, but it's like suspended above you like a fucking like a Looney Tunes like anvil. Yeah.
Piano.
Of the same stuff
Barn?
that flows through me. Your anxiety feels like it's this thing that's outside of you and uncontrollable and fucking massive. But it's you. Like it's not, but it's you. It's you doing it. It's your brain doing it. It's your body doing it.
Yeah.
So it feels like this crazy, like, other, quote unquote. But it's your nerves and your blood and you. I think that's that was like a piece of lyrics that I was like, man.
Yeah.
Heard.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's interesting too, because I feel like this song, it's not easy to gloss over it. But for some reason, I think of how many hundreds of playthroughs this album has had for me and how it remains stagnant in the album. It's like, it doesn't take you through places like some of the other songs do, but it's about being stuck. And I don't know if that was planned, if that's just how it worked out, but I think there's something poetic about that.
Yeah. And the next song, Fickle.
Is even more pretty.
Feels like we're making moves.
Pretty in a different way. I wouldn't say more pretty.
Oh, I loved this song.
Yeah, it's so nice.
This is one of my favorites. And
somberest track on the whole album.
Yeah. We're making moves, different seasons of life. This is kind of like a flip of Stagnant. I'm restless. I'm tired of loafing. I'm ready and waiting for more. Bitch, we're going.
Bitch, we're moving.
Get your briefcase. Let's go. I was literally like, I like felt very like affirmed by this song. Like I told you guys, well, Zach, you know this, but like I started a new job pretty recently and I was like commuting down to the office and like, I'm not going to badmouth anyone on Maine, but like my last job was really frustrating. And my job before that was really frustrating. And I was making like no money and I was so broke and I was so anxious. And I was like going to this job recently and I was listening to the song and it's funny because the first lyric is like, what is it? I've got a steady job that I already can't wait to quit. I was thinking about that and I was like, I don't want to quit this job. Like this is the first time that I feel like I've grown and like I'm actually doing something that like feels good and feels like progress and growth. And that's huge. Feeling restless, feeling like you can control what you're up to. I mean, to a degree, of course. But if I've learned anything over the last like year, it's like you do have within your arm's reach the ability to take some fucking reins, you know? You can't do nothing.
Yeah. And there's that, like, I think too at the end of the song, it talks a little bit about that uncertainty, about how it's like, I'm done with this, but I don't have a lot of confidence about where I'm going. Like, I feel this inspiration inside of me and this purpose to go somewhere.
But where?
But also, like, A, do I deserve it?
Yeah.
B, will I even get there? What if I get there and I hate it?
Yeah.
Or just all these different questions of the unknown. And, like, it's frustrating when the only thing that you do know is that you hate where you're at or who you've been.
I was going to ask your guys an opinion of this interpretation I have for the first verse. Feels like I've been 18 forever.
Yeah.
And like at face value, like being 18 is like normally a good thing, right? You're finally grown up. And it goes on to say, I'm sick of it. Are they saying I've been 18 like I've been an adult forever and I'm sick of it?
Well, I kind of thought like 18, you're like a young buck. You're like a baby deer of an adult. I don't know about you. When I was 18, I mean, legally you're an adult. I don't think you're like actually an adult until you have a fully developed frontal lobe.
Yeah, 25,
Like 18
26.
is a scam, man.
Yeah, that is a scam.
18 is like, you're supposed to be an adult, but you most likely live at home. Like the only 18-year-olds that are probably doing okay are the ones that have already left home by like 14 or 15 and gone through so much trauma that they're like adjusted now. Like 18 is like, the world has expectations of who they want you to be. You aren't grown up enough yet to actually know anything. You're most likely still living with your family. And if you're not, you're struggling. You don't know how to support yourself.
Yeah.
It's like this very, I don't know. It's like this there's all these expectations from you and you can't be anything but 18.
And it's also kind of like, again, it like varies based on your situation, but like when I was 18, I moved here and was like, oh my God, I'm 18 and I live in Chicago and I'm supposed to buy my own groceries. I don't know how to grocery shop. I don't know how to find a job. I have to like fill out forms and shit. So like being 18 forever, first of all, sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, sounds kind of like hell. Yeah.
Second of all, I still kind of feel that way.
Yeah.
Like I did my taxes and I keep getting little notifications that are like, you got to fix this thing on your taxes.
Right.
I'm like, why can't anyone do it for me? I don't know how.
They already know how much money I owe them. Why do I have to guess?
Right.
It sucks. Also, too, 18 being the tail end of adolescence.
Literally.
Which is just a really horrible time for so many people. And by the time you end adolescence, you feel pretty darn ready to be done with your adolescence. Like, you start yearning for autonomies that you didn't have before and responsibility. I mean, no one wants it, but like when you get it, you're like, why did I want this? But there's all these things that you desire and the world recognizes you or our country recognizes you in this way, which is dumb. This is like one day you're 17 and the next day you're 18 and you're like, I'm an adult.
Right. It's like, you're different now.
Yeah.
Says who?
I get that. It's like feeling like I would never want to feel like I was 18. I had a lot of hope when I was 18, but it was very quickly squandered by the world.
I was very irresponsible at 18. Not total, Mom, not totally.
Mom,
but
I was
like,
very irresponsible at 18 and you know it.
Yeah, I was irresponsible. Just like, yeah.
But
I do miss when you're young, you have like no like sense of risk. So you're a little more brave, a little more bravado.
That's
now
true.
I'm like, everything I do is risky. and I'm fully aware of it all times.
Yes.
Talking about tires of anxiety, right?
Yeah.
we didn't know any better though.
Yeah,
I mean, if you think
True.
about it, it's like who you are is who you were. It's who you were. Like you grew up to be that person. So
God, what a nightmare.
sorry you felt 18 forever, Sky, because that sucks.
Do you know how old they are?
this is gonna be so weird because if I say yes, I'll sound even more creepy.
It doesn't have to be on air. I'm just curious.
I remember, so I actually used to have you can put it on. I used to have this very, very deep obsession with age because I had this expectation of what I needed to achieve by a certain age. And people that were my age and more adjusted, more talented, more grown up than me made me feel so bad about myself for so long. So the first thing I would do when I found out, like, when I heard something that I loved in terms of talent, music, I'd be like, how old are they? Yeah. Because I need to make sure I can get to that point by their age. This is a very, very like explicit gaze into my brain. And it's like very dysfunctional. But I do recall that I believe they're like a couple years older than I am. And I'm 25.
Oh,
so
serve. Okay.
I'm very certain they're under 30.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
This sounds... I was going to say, like, a lot of this sounds like it was written by, like, I don't know, a friend. Yeah. Or, like, a colleague. It just, I don't know what the term is for someone in your age group.
A peer.
A peer.
Yeah. Talk about the approval of my peers a lot in therapy. That's important to me. Take notes, friends. Therapist. Take notes, friends.
Do you like your therapist?
I love him. Oh. I actually had a very big crush on him for a solid year. We had to talk about that.
I'm glad you talked about it.
He changed my life 180. And I had seen so many different ones before him, and then it was like finally someone knew their stuff.
Which shape. Yeah, it's great.
Let's talk about On a Paper Trail.
Yeah.
This is some of my favorite writing on the album, I think.
Yeah?
Tell me more.
Poetry, tell me more.
There is a lot of poetry.
I want to hear your thoughts on this.
Pages of Poison Oak, ordered numerically. They're talking about books in this song.
Yeah.
But they're describing them as Poison Oak. Have you guys ever had Poison Oak?
It's the book that makes you itchy.
Poison Oak is the book that makes you itchy.
Pages of Poison Oak. I'm taking it literally. You go to the library, you pick up this book, and it makes you itch.
It's the Encyclopedia
and they're like,
Britannica.
oh, that one's like checked out. You have to come back in 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh, I forgot my library card.
Oh, no. I was a Girl Scout, so I learned about Poison Oak and Poison Ivy and like vehemently avoided it.
It was as relevant as a kid as like hot lava. Like
Mitchell, have you
like
ever had Poison Oak or Poison Ivy?
I never have.
Never have. Did you?
So it's a plant for people who don't know, and it looks like a glove. It looks like a little glove, like a mitten.
Like Michigan.
Yes. Yeah. I think oak has 5, ivy has 3, leaves a 3, let it be, right?
Yeah.
But if you touch it, you like get rashes.
Yeah.
And you itch for like a week. And so it is like, when I heard them sing this line, I'm like, oh, that is absolute misery. Like reading a book of Poison Oak. And then
especially because they then go on to say, every book on this shelf is a tale my life will tell. So it begs the question, I am the pages of Poison Oak. If you read me, you will come away unscathed. I will hurt you. Right?
That also sounds like my therapy sessions. Turning back through an old chapter and needing a week to decompress because you brought it up.
Yeah. Exactly.
Ouch. Itch.
Yeah,
what else we got? What else you got?
The vocal delivery on this one's fantastic. The lyrics are great. There's a trumpet.
Yeah.
Dude, trumpets are great.
Also, can we take a second to talk about their voice? We haven't really talked about it other than it's intense, but it's very unique.
Yeah.
And I don't know anyone who sings as beautifully as this person in my mind. And I don't know, how would you describe it to someone who hasn't heard them before? Because it's a very important part. Like, this poetry would not mean nearly as much as if you sang it like Billie Eilish, or even if you sang it like any other Midwest emo band. It's like gut-wrenching.
There's this element that's very like tender, I think, in their delivery, which is crazy because on the flip side, like, they can fucking belt and scream and yell, but then there's also, it feels very like intimate and tender, and almost like the words that they're singing like hurt while they're coming out.
Yeah.
It's conversational, almost like confessional.
Yeah.
Like, you have a friend that's telling you about this really deep thing they went through. And I love that their voice breaks a lot.
Yeah.
And I know that's become a stylistic like stamp that they put on things, even when it doesn't have to waver. And as someone, I teach voice lessons for a living, so like I'm really into vocal function, and I just think that's the most incredible way to express yourself, and I never would have thought about it in a million years. So the whole song is fairly mellow. It's that like, I suck, I don't like myself, and my life has been this journey, and you can look at it if you want, and it's very conversational. And then we get to that ending where it comes in hard with its
measure to illustrate how wide my view may it relate to you in sequence of what we've become.
it's beautiful because it's like I just poured my heart out and then play this is beautiful like reflective melody for a minute, and then it's almost like, do you even care?
Yeah. Woof.
Or like, did you get it? Like, did you get that? Did you get how important this was
that
to me?
sense.
Yeah.
I love this. Kind of reminds me of we talked about them on the podcast, but Remo Drive.
Oh
Their
yeah.
front man.
I don't want to fucking be here anymore.
I feel like these two like light up something similar in my brain. When both of them sing, I feel like I can like picture their mouths moving
Yes.
like a lot.
Yeah.
Is that weird?
No,
But I feel like, I don't know, something about the delivery just feels like extra, like the vowel sounds are that much greater, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what
Yeah.
you mean. I've seen them perform live. They do be opening their mouth.
They do open their mouth.
I
to
feel
sing.
validated.
But you said you're a vocal coach, right? So like that's
Yeah.
a huge part of like where you place the valve is like how much your lips are up and stuff like that,
also,
right?
Too, you can tell who's had training and who hasn't taken a lot of formal training. I don't know if they've had any training, but from my understanding, I wouldn't say that if they did, they either kept the training, kind of like kept it in the back of their mind and still went really authentic with their sound, or they haven't had training. And it's cool because America obsesses with talent so much, with this quotes talent.
Yeah.
How do you even define that?
Yeah.
Western, I could go on a whole tangent about how like Western classical music is inherently comes from a very bad place of humanity. So,
Yep.
like it's crazy, you know, if you've had training, you can't really undo it. And there's a very raw authenticity to Sky's voice that is so authentic that it's like perfect.
Yeah.
Like you ever meet someone and you think like, wow, you're really you.
yeah.
Like you're so incredibly you that it could even be painful at times, but like the authenticity is so strong, and I wish I could like have a morsel of that for myself.
Yeah. They're not delivering it like in a way that's like, this is the right way to do it.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the way I need to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is like,
I dig it.
that's like, I feel like that's the art that like millennials want to, or like young people, even Gen Z, like we want that. We just like, we're fed perfection every day, all day, quote, perfection.
Yeah.
And I don't know, you don't get like rawness that's beautiful very often, I think.
Yeah, just something so human and there's this really cool kind of way to like look at music in two different paradigms, like because for a long time music wasn't a business, right? Music was just something people did.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times I think the term we use for that is like folk music, right? People just did folk music together out in the barn, out wherever. So I think punk music, before it got really businessy and monetized, was a folk music, right?
Yeah.
It's a gathering.
And it's a very like a political statement in a lot of countries too.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's just like a way to get away from like, I don't know, what did you have? You had the opera, and then rock and roll came along, and it was like, we're not elite. We don't want to be a part of this shitty thing. Not that opera sucks, but it's rooted in some pretty dark times of humanity. So like, exactly. It's like the music of the people has always been anything but the refined, prestigious thing.
And it's very good.
Yeah.
And we like it.
And like it a lot.
We like it. And I think the fact that the three of us can sit here and really like, I hope that I'm not alienating any like Katy Perry stans or anything, but you're not going to sit there and like talk about your therapist and talk about like your guttural, like intense reaction to music, listening to like a top 40 song.
Right. Yeah.
Usually.
Like, it's the kind of stuff you can relate with, but you're not going to like pull up the lyrics and be like, this is who I am.
Right. Like I've lived this.
Those are core
experience.
emotions that the general population can connect with versus like.
I mean, I felt like a plastic bag. Don't get me wrong, but.
So there I was, drifting through the wind.
Wanting to start again.
It's a great song, but it's not great for the
liked
reasons
what you said.
this is.
Music for the people, I think, was what really stuck with me. Yeah. Should we take it home?
Let's take it home.
Last song.
3 long over ice cream.
Ice cream.
But vegan.
Vegan ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Can I plug my favorite vegan ice cream real quick?
Yeah, is it Genus?
Wait, we're
or
not
Jenny's?
sponsored.
I don't care. I don't
They
care.
owe us money if you say it.
I've given them money willingly multiple times, and I'll
Who?
do it again. It's the So Delicious brand cashew milk snickerdoodle ice cream.
Oh, that sounds
Ooh.
delicious.
It's so fucking good.
I take it back. We can
you
talk
can get
about
it at Target. That is my favorite vegan ice cream.
That sounds good.
Sounds very good.
if
Jenny's
anyone's
has some
looking.
good vegan stuff too.
I do love Jenny's.
Plot twist, every time I go past it, I just read Genus. And I don't, if anyone out there sees the world the same way I do, let me know.
Genus.
I'd like to discuss.
For the longest time, you know the U.S. like Postal Service logo?
Mm-hmm.
I never realized it was an eagle.
Oh,
It's
it
an
is,
eagle.
isn't it?
It's kind of an eagle.
I always thought it was like an open like folio like binder folder.
It's like a trapper key.
Like a trapper keeper, yes.
I have to pull it
The
up now.
symbol of our country.
I was like, that's a piece of mail? I never realized it was an eagle. So I get what you
I
mean.
see.
It's not a very good looking eagle.
It's not a very good looking eagle. I'm saying I didn't realize until like I was maybe 17.
What else could it be? Kind of looks like a Sharpie or like a pen.
Like yeah. I kept thinking it was like mail. I thought
It kind of looks like a zipper, right?
yeah.
It kind of looks like a popsicle from the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could not ship popsicles very easily.
No.
That would probably be a bad logo if it was a popsicle.
Unless they were like those you know what's crazy? Well, my first thought was like those like, you know, like Freezy Pops where it's just like liquid in a tube.
I have like 40 of those in my freezer, and
as you should.
I
As you
sneak
should.
them on nights, on edible nights.
Yes.
It was like late, and I'm just like, I need something.
Oh, well, speaking of edibles, I saw at ye olde local dispensary,
Yo.
they had like edible Freezy Pops.
That's good. And actually, this is funny because the other night I had one, and I was just like really just floating around.
Yeah.
And I took a picture of them in the freezer and sent it to my roommate with the caption, "The day we run out of these is the day I die."
I love being a little stoned and just texting people what I'm thinking.
Yeah, well, you know that feeling of like when you're a little stoned and something is just so important to you. It's like simple pleasures become like a reason to live. I don't know.
I was watching Criminal Minds last night, and I was a little stoned. And how familiar are you with Criminal
Very.
Minds?
I've seen every episode.
Okay, perfect. The unsub,
The
the
unsub.
person who they thought the unsub
I'm
was.
unsubbing.
No! Please subscribe to our podcast. The unsub's name was James Charles.
No.
And I was like, I need to text my sister so much about this.
And
So
you're like, bring me a little water, Sylvie.
This is the second time I've talked about I talked about James Charles on our last episode too.
That's
And
funny.
Zach, I know you're not familiar,
I don't know
but
who
I'm
James
glad-
Charles is.
I'm
Googling. I'm
I
curious.
texted my sister like, "Whoa, yeah. I texted her so many times. I was like, I need to tell you about Criminal Minds.
It's like all caps. Like the urgency, the texts just keep coming in. You
I
keep
sent
sending
her a
them.
video. I sent her a photo. We have fun here. 3 Long Over Ice.
What does
There
that mean?
are no days.
What does 3 Long Over Ice mean?
It sounds like a Long Island iced tea, doesn't it? Once you think, but it can't be. There's got to be something deeper.
3 long. I'm thinking like 3 long pours, like 3 shots on the rocks.
Maybe.
Or like I was also thinking like espresso shots, like or liquor.
I've talked to Sky a couple times about some songs they've written, and they showed me this picture of like the setting that they wrote one of my favorite songs, one of the songs I really liked by them. They just like took a picture of the lyrics and like what it looked like, what they were looking at.
Oh my god.
Oh.
And it's cool because that song talks about like being on the porch and dancing, and it's like there's the freaking porch right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're really good at. I wonder, maybe they were like having a little drinky drink, and
Yeah.
maybe they had 3.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm a fucking idiot, and it has nothing to do with that at all.
If I had a nickel. I think that's a really good interpretation.
That's what I want it to be. I hope that when they were working on that song, they were feeling chill and they were relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like it.
And the
Sounds
song
like
seems
it.
very like reflective too.
Mhm.
I don't know about you. I reminisce over
Yeah.
a drink.
Literally, it starts, once upon a time I felt young,
Yeah.
and I felt love for myself over everyone. For anybody that has trouble putting themselves first, that is insane. Because thinking of like recalling to the time where you found like passion for life and just exploring
Yeah.
into like, oh, I'm only worth what people see me as. Like that's a big shift
Mm-hmm.
in missing that innocence and that when things were okay. I mean, granted, they weren't okay because our childhoods are full of trauma that make us who we are
Course.
today, I
Of
think.
course. For better or
But-
for worse.
Even if we weren't ready. But that quickly moves on into love for myself over everyone. Now I'm mopping the mess up. Marked all the cups, but nothing got done efficiently enough, which I, from childhood, learned this really interesting thing about I need to be perfect or I'm worthless. And I love the line about quantifying time in terms of waste.
That's
It's-
a really good line.
It's so beautifully written, and that like vibe of not am I enjoying my life, not am I taking care of myself, am I being productive enough, am I good enough for X father figure that I have a nebulous imagination cares about what my life is, or whatever God figure that we all are trying to meet the needs of in our souls. Like I don't know, I'm very much related to that, and I always have.
This is reminding me of another song. Okay. Do either of you know the band Pet Sematary?
Yeah.
They have a song that it's one of my favorites by them called My Exhausted Month of May.
Mhm.
And one of the lines is, am I tired or expired? Am I the product of lost afternoons?
Oh man.
And it's sort of this song where there's a lot of like, I'm unmotivated, time is passing me by, I'm a depressed sack of shit. And that reminded me of that. Like
Yeah.
feeling like life is slipping by you because you, I don't know, spent a Saturday like smoking weed and watching YouTube.
Yeah. But
Which is fine.
and it's fine. It's like, but we're so unfair to ourselves.
Right.
Like the way that we've taken in our culture and like we just hate ourselves instead of being like, oh, Mitchell, you're a nice person and you deserve love. Like,
Yeah.
I don't say that to myself. Like, if you say
I'll
that
say it
to
to you.
yourself, let's be friends because I can
Yeah.
learn a thing or two from you, you know?
Affirmations.
Yes.
What else? There's a nice jab at people at the end, which I like.
Let me see.
I like when they talk about people that they view as harmful.
Let me read it. Does it make you feel good Does it make you feel dominance when you grip hard as you shake hands and disagree but make no effort to understand?
That's really
Is that a political
powerful.
stance?
I mean, it could be political. It could be like your uncle at Thanksgiving.
That
Again,
felt a little personal.
no
Sarah.
shade to my Wisconsin family, but like around the 2016 election, I went home for Thanksgiving, and one of my relatives was like, those yahoos marching in Chicago over the Trump presidency. They better go and get a job. And I was like, hey, I was marching. Like, and it's one of those things where it's like at the end of the day, you feel like it's amicable, but this person does not get it.
Yeah. And do they even
Or
try?
they're not trying. Yeah, exactly.
And I think that speaks to like there are so many people in this world that tend to be in charge of a lot of things that haven't had to try. And I think I can relate a little bit. I grew up in like a pretty well-off Catholic, relatively conservative place. And if I wasn't queer, I would be the worst person. Like
I think about that all the
I
time.
would be a human garbage because
Yes.
I didn't even understand like what racism was. I didn't
Yes.
understand what sexism was. And even as I'm still recovering and trying to figure out how to be a better person, I didn't even think I needed to try back then.
And how fucked up is it that with marginalization often comes empathy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, for people who aren't experiencing that, it takes this very concerted effort that they often don't want to make.
Right.
Because why bother?
Mhm.
Not my problem.
And it's something that so many people these days can relate to because so many people tend to feel like, especially younger people, are becoming made aware of these things and aware that like inequality is so rampant among our species. Like, I don't know. There's something comforting about having someone like Sky on your side to like speak up and be like, hey man, what the fuck? Like, why you gotta be like this? And I think calling out that behavior is important, especially the kind of people that are willing to have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know it's not on this album, but there's a song they put out called Guy on their new album, and it's about being non-binary. And it's all like, it starts off talking about how I have a tendency to like write people off if they assume things about me. But it's also a very honest attempt to be like, but also this is how I see my gender, and I hope you can understand that. And I just like that some people are willing to call out the bullshit that they see, but are also willing to like try and educate people.
Yeah.
Because we need that if we're ever going to survive, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
100%.
God bless them. Like, I dove into the recent release a little bit, and I dove into this, but I'm excited to continue getting my toes wet.
Guy and Stoged or Stoged. I've never heard that word in my life.
Yeah.
But those are my two favorite ones.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Is it time to give this a
I
brewski?
think so. Do you want to pause and debate?
I do need to pee again.
Yeah.
I love that.
Folks, I know that you've been waiting with bated breath this entire episode to hear what we've decided on for the Rebrewski. And wait no longer. It's here.
The Rebrewski for you, Sky, is a single strawberry that's everlasting. It will never go away. And it has a beautiful face that smiles back at you.
Congratulations. Come collect this at your leisure. Folks, we are Album Rebrews, and we will continue to be Album Rebrews. If you want to find us on Twitter and Instagram, we are at Album Rebrews. And if you'd like to check out our website, it is www.albumrebrews.com.
A giant thank you to Cameron Bopp for producing our show fantastically, I may add. Also writing the theme song.
Being my boyfriend.
And being my boyfriend.
Yeah.
No.
He's all of our boyfriends.
He has been Twitch streaming, so we want to plug that.
He
so
was
go check it
actually
out.
streaming while we were recording this.
Yeah, he is.
If you want to watch him like play GeoGuessr, he did like
Oh, I love
Wikipedia speed
GeoGuessr.
runs. I don't know if he played it on stream today, but he found this cool like color matching game that looked really fun. Check it out. It's twitch.tv/Cambop17. That's
Do it,
BOPP.
Another giant thank you to you, the listener, for hanging out with us for an hour and a half. We certainly do appreciate it. If you like the show, consider telling your friends about it. We're not part of any big fancy network or anything, so you just doing that helps out a ton. A giant final thank you to Mitchell for coming on.
Yeah!
Thank you so much. This was a great episode. We
Thank you
appreciate
for
it. Check out
having me.
him and his band, The Weekend Run Club, on their socials at The Weekend Run Club. They've got some shows coming up. They've got some really exciting other things we can't even talk about
Ooh.
on air coming
Inside
up. So
scoop.
keep an eye on them. They're great.
Anything you want to say to the people before we say goodbye?
No, that's it. Be nice to your friends. They're important.
True.
Yeah.
Listen to my music if you want.
Listen to this music.
Listen to this music more
Listen
than
to
you
Water
do
Me Down.
my music. They just came back from a 2 to 4 year. I don't know how time happens. 2 to 4 year hiatus.
Give or take.
And they just dropped a banger of an album that's out everywhere. So check that out. Give them some support because the scene is very, very happy to have them back.
Tell them we sent you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give them a kiss. Okay, speaking of giving kisses. Okay. It's important that we all get very close to the microphone right now because the last thing we do is we very tenderly say goodbye to our listeners. So I'll go. It's same as introduction order. Ready? Goodbye.
Bye.
Oh, jeez.
I'm sorry. It never fails.
It hurts. Goodbye.
That's the show.